We know we get the alkyl group when we remove one hydrogen atom from the corresponding alkane. So we have methane. When we remove one hydrogen atom, we get the methyl group, that is CH3. When we remove one hydrogen atom from ethane, we get the ethyl group, that is C2H5, and one place is vacant for any group to be attached. While naming the organic compounds, the first step is to find the longest chain of carbon atoms. That remains the same for all organic compounds. So let's take an organic compound. So we are given this compound. So the first step is to find the longest carbon chain. So let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we take this chain, we get 4 carbon atoms. If we take this chain, let's count, we get 1, 2, 3, 4. Again we get 4 carbon atoms. Let's take this chain now. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this chain we get 5 carbon atoms. Here we had 4, here we had 4, and in this chain we got 5 carbon atoms. So which chain should we take? We should take this chain, since we are looking for the longest carbon chain. So our longest carbon chain becomes this chain containing 5 carbon atoms. So we know that the carbon atoms belonging to the longest chain are known as main chain carbon atoms. The group attached to the main chain outside the main chain is known as a substituent. Now let's number the carbon atoms. So if we number the carbon atoms from the left, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The rule says we name the substituent according to the number of carbon atom at which it is present. So this methyl group, you can see CH4 is methane. When we remove one hydrogen atom, we get the corresponding alkyl group. So in this case, when we remove one hydrogen atom, we get CH3. So the corresponding alkyl group for methane is the methyl group. So this CH3 is the methyl group. And this is attached to carbon number 3. So the name for this substituent becomes 3-methyl. Now if we number the carbon chain from the opposite side, so right now we started from the left. If we start from the right, let's see what we get. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again our substituent is present at carbon number 3. So this gets the name 3-methyl. So the naming of the substituents gives the prefix to the name of the compound. So when we name the substituents, that is 3-methyl in both the cases, this is the prefix for the name of this organic compound. Let's take another organic compound. This is our organic compound. We have 5 carbon atoms and over here we have C2H5 group. Let's expand this C2H5. What will we get? So when we expand this C2H5, we can write it as CH2, CH3. When nothing is written, we know we can replace it by hydrogen atoms. This C2H5 can be expanded as CH2, CH3. Now, nothing is written here, so we can put hydrogen atoms in this case. So this becomes C attached to a C2H5 group. So this is also a C2H5 group and we have the same CH2, CH3 here. So now when we number these, you will observe, in this case we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In case you number this again as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but if you number this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the longest chain remains the same. That is, the longest chain still consists of 5 carbon atoms. In the first case, the substituent is attached to the carbon number 3, so we get 3-ethyl. In the second case, the substituent is again attached to carbon number 3. We have only expanded the ethyl group, so we get 3-ethyl. In the third case, if you expand this and say you take this as the longest chain, so what do you observe? Still the substituent that is the ethyl group, it is still attached at carbon number 3. So the prefix still remains 3-ethyl. So instead of taking this as the longest chain, if you expand the ethyl group and take this as the longest chain, it still remains the same, because our prefix, that is our substituent, is still attached to carbon number 3. So it does not make a difference. Let's take another organic compound. This is our organic compound. Our first step is to select the longest carbon chain. So in this case, we observe that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our longest carbon chain. So if we number it from the left, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We name the substituent according to the position at which it is attached. So we observe that our methyl group is at position number 2. So it gets the prefix 2-methyl. Now what will happen if we start the numbering from the right? Let's observe. If we start naming it from the right or numbering it from the right, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this time our methyl group is attached to carbon number 4. So it's not 2-methyl, this becomes 4-methyl. Now for the same organic compound, we cannot have two prefixes. This is 2-methyl. Since it is attached to carbon number 2, and this is 4-methyl. We cannot have two prefixes for the same organic compound. So what do? The rule given by IUPAC states we have to use the lowest number for the substituent. In this case, the substituent is getting number 2. In this case, the substituent is getting number 4. So according to IUPAC, the lowest number should be given to the substituent. So this is right and this is wrong. So in this, the prefix that should be used is 2-methyl. That is, the numbering should be started from the left. So again, this is correct and this is wrong for the same organic compound. So the rule given by IUPAC states that we have to give the lowest number to the substituent. Now we have an organic compound. What is the prefix of this organic compound? So let's start. Our first step remains the same. In this organic compound, we have to find the longest chain. So we observe that this is our longest chain. Now we have to number the longest chain. So let's start. We can number it either from the left or from the right. If we number this from the left, we get that our methyl group is attached at position number 3. So this becomes 3-methyl. If we number it from the right, we see that the methyl group is attached at position number 5. So this becomes 5-methyl. So now which one should be taken? We know the IUPAC states that the lowest number should be given to the substituent. So in this case, we see that it is getting number 3. In this case, it is getting number 5. So this is correct and this is wrong. Let's take another organic compound. This is our organic compound. We have to find the prefix. So first of all, let's select the longest carbon chain. So this is our longest carbon chain consisting of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 carbon atoms. Now if we have to number it, again we can number it from either side. That is, we can either start numbering from left or from right. So what do you observe in first case? In the first case, you observe that we have a methyl group at position number 3 and a methyl group at position number 6. So can we name this as 3-methyl and 6-methyl? One methyl group is attached to position number 3 and one methyl group is attached to position number 6. So you see 3-methyl, 6-methyl. So in order to avoid writing the same substituent again and again, what we do is we use a prefix. That is, we can write this as 3,6-dimethyl. Since we have the same substituent which is present twice, so there is no need to write it again and again. Instead, this di over here, it shows that we have two methyl groups, one at position 3 and the other at position 6. Let's take this example. If we have started the numbering from right, what do we get? We see one methyl group is at position number 2 and the other is at position number 5. So we get 2, 5 dimethyl. Now, in this case, we have 3, 6 dimethyl. Here we have 2, 5 dimethyl. So, between these two, which one is right now? Again, the rule of IUPAC holds. That is, we name or we give the number to the substituent which is lowest. So, if you observe, in this case, the first substituent is encountered at position 3. And in this case, the first substituent is encountered at position 2. So if we have to give the lowest number to the substituent, we give this number and not this. So this is wrong and this is right. So we always give the number to the substituent which is encountered first. That is, we give the lowest number to the substituent. In this case, we have two substituents, so we look for the first number. So the first number in this case is 3 and the first number in this case is 2. So we use this, that is 2, 5 dimethyl. Now let's take another example. We have an organic compound. We have to find the prefix. Let's select the longest carbon chain. So this is our longest carbon chain. Let's start numbering. So we can number it either from the left or from the right. If we number it from the left, we have 2, 3, 6. So these are the three positions at which the three methyl groups are attached. Since now we have three methyl groups, we use the prefix tri. Tri means 3. So we have 2, 3, 6 trimethyl. In this case, what do we get? The first methyl group is at position number 2. The second is at position number 5. And the third is at position number 6. Now you see that in both the cases, the first methyl group is encountered at position number 2. So now which one should we select? Well, if the first position is the same, move to the second position. In this case, you see that the second methyl group is encountered at position number 3. In this case, it is encountered at position number 5. So the rule remains the same. We give the lowest number to the substituent. So we give this number. So this is right and this is wrong. So if the first number is the same, we move to the second number. Let's take another example. We have this organic compound. Our first step is to find the longest chain. So this is our longest carbon chain consisting of 5 carbon atoms. So we start numbering from this side because we see if we start numbering from the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll get our substituent at position 4. But no, we give the lowest number to the substituent. So we start numbering from the left. Now you see both the methyl groups are at position number 2 only. So how do we name this? We use 2. One methyl group is at position number 2. And the other methyl group is also at position number 2. So we write 2 twice. Since we have 2 methyl groups, we get dimethyl. So we cannot skip 1, 2. So since both our methyl groups are at position number 2, you cannot write 2, dimethyl. That would be wrong because you have to specify the position of both the methyl groups. So even if 2 methyl groups are present at the same position, so we write 2, 2 dimethyl. Now we are given an organic compound. What is the prefix of this organic compound? So let's take our organic compound. First step, find the longest carbon chain. Longest chain consists of 5 carbon atoms. So now we number our substituents. We see that the first substituents are at position 2 and 2 substituents are at position number 2. So we write 2, 2. Since all the substituents are the same, that is the same methyl group, we move to the second one. That is, after these two, we have this. So this is at position number 3. And the fourth methyl group is also at position number 3. So from this, we get 2 methyl groups are at position number 2 and 2 methyl groups are at position number 3. And this time we have 4 methyl groups. So what should be the prefix for 4? It is tetra. So di stands for 2, tri is 3, tetra means 4. So in this case, we specify the number for each of the substituent. Since we have 4 methyl groups, so we get tetramethyl. So this is the prefix for this organic compound. Let's take another example. We are given this organic compound and we have to find the prefix of this organic compound. So the first step remains the same. We have to find the longest carbon chain. In this case, if we see, this is the longest carbon chain. Now, if we start the numbering from left, we get 1, 2. 2 substituents are present at position number 2. If we start the numbering from right, we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4. The first substituent will then be present at position number 4. So the rule says that we give the lowest number to the substituent. So we start, in this case, we start the numbering from the left hand side. So now we have 3 substituents. The 3 are methyl groups. So the prefix becomes 2, 2. Since 2 methyl groups are present at position number 2 and 1 methyl group is present at position number 5. So it becomes 2, 2, 5, trimethyl. We use the prefix tri as it shows there are 3 methyl groups present in the organic compound. So for this organic compound, the prefix is 2,2,5 trimethyl. So always remember the rule that whenever we have substituents in an organic compound, we always give the lowest number to the substituent.